Hey, so finally making a video here. Getting back to things now that it's almost whoop season, but I haven't actually flown much here recently, but been busy working and installing security cameras for folks, security systems, lots of surveillance cameras, which is fun. I like doing that, and it kind of reminds me of the drones and the cameras and everything. So a lot of wireless, a lot of wired, closed circuit TV systems, just you name it. Computer server controlled, remote controlled, a lot of fun. But we have today, I want to make a quick little video. I've been working on a long range unit, the 7-inch. It's a Source 1 frame. Beastly motors, 2408.5 by 1900 kV. Well, not, nothing crazy, but they're good sized motors. A lot of controversy with that over, I wouldn't say controversy, a lot of discussion over motor sizes and kV and everything for long range. So I know a lot of folks get much lower kV. They'll tend to get higher, bigger motors, lower kV. And I know a lot of folks that have went that route, and you can come up with, you get a lot of flight time, but then your power drops. You're cruising with a lot of throttle. So the concept, the theory is to try to be able to cruise your cruising speeds with not a whole lot of throttle, still have some punch, and you can use throttle cut or throttle limiting to also compensate for some power there. So fun little one. I've got some newbie drone B wire, I believe they're called, just race wire with LEDs, inline LEDs. So let's check out the stack here. We are running a CL Racing F7 stack, the first CL Racing stack that I've ran. I've ran a few CL Racing boards and loved them, all worked really well. An F7, I don't know if I ran any F4s, but a couple F7s. This is the version 2.1 flight controller. And yeah, check out the ESC here. Just had the flight controller on there, not fastened yet, but nice 45 amp. Continuous 55 burst. So I like the layout of the ESC. It tells me your current scale is 250 right there is labeled. That makes it nice. But I like the layout of the motor pads versus the MOSFETs and the batteries and everything. The MOSFETs aren't too close to the motor pads. Sometimes those get crazy close. So the only thing weird about this one was the ribbon for the 4-on-1 is on the back. So it's if you orient the board in the default position, you have a ribbon up front, which isn't a problem, it's just a little different. And I could run it the other way, but what I run into there is having the board default position. I really like where the camera and receiver UARTs are at. Camera receiver info's up here, and your BTX and goodies are back here. And I like putting my BTX in the back and the receiver and the camera up front. So the layout of the board works really well for me like that. So that'll be fine though. Plenty of room in there. But I've got a smoke stopper, so we can try plugging in. I haven't plugged this in yet. Basically just mounted the motors, ran the wires, and ran up to the ESC and soldered. I usually work from the motors in. That's the way I like to do it. Mount the motors and then route my race wires. And I ran them under some weave tubing, protective tubing, strands, and then routed the wires underneath the ESC going up there. So I'll get a little closer up here with the head cam as well. I have the stock capacitor that came with it. It's a 35 volt 1000 UF. We'll give that a shot. And I soldered a JST connector onto my main bat because I'll be using a TBS Unify Pro HV high volt. So it'll plug straight into the bat there, and then I'll power my camera from the VTX output power. So we'll be good to go. I want to plug in here and cross our fingers, hope everything works well. And I want to hear these motors spin. We don't have any receiver or VTX hooked up, but you can still run your motors in Betaflight or BL Heli and I need to check my motor directions because I pretty much just wired straight up. You know, I keep my wires pretty clean, but as I bring them in, I don't make sure, you know, that the first wire from that motor goes on. I just make sure those three go to the correct motor pad on that ESC, and then I adjust my motor directions if necessary. So let's see what's going on there. I want to check out, first time trying a Foxeer Predator Mini 5, Foxeer 5. What is it, a 2.5 lens? 2.5 lens, yeah. Really excited to see that. I've been impressed with the footage I see online of folks running Foxeer. I've been a run cam person for forever, pretty much. That's about all I've ran is run cam, different types of run cam, and I like them. But we're gonna give that a shot. So let's get up here. Close-up time. Betaflight. Yeah, motor direction reverse is my typical. I don't have bidirectional D-shot turned on yet. I will though. We're just checking stuff here. Battery scale 250. That's what we want. Not gonna mess with any PID tuning or filters yet. I just put my rates in. A little tiny bit of expo and lowered super rate a bit. So everything's looking good here. Let's go to Power tab and plug in. Oh no. It's go time. Make sure that my capacitor doesn't short out anywhere. I have it coated with liquid electrical tape. Kind of did a little ugly job there, but I'll clean it up a bit. Here we go. Better plug it in the right direction, huh? Get that. Oh yeah. So far so good. I got volts and Betaflight a little high, so we'll have to adjust that a bit. Scale might be a little bit up. What if we drop that down? Yeah, that looks more like it. Okay, it says 4S. No, that's not correct. I got a 6S pack in there. So no, that scale's not right. We'll have to look at that. Okay. Let's look at motors. Let's turn up some motors. I click that and I use my cursor keys and just tap that up. There we go. 1020. Pops out. Pops out, pops out, pops out. Oh yeah. Turn it up a little more. 1040. The motors sound nice. We got LEDs. Today, and it should change colors with throttle up. Or no, they're just white. Right. I don't want to turn the motors up too much. It's brand new, and you don't want to spin them up too much without anything on them, any props or anything. Very nice. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's jump into CLI and do a status. Everything's good. Flags are good. No RX and we're in CLI. Let's do a tasks. And yeah, not much going on right now. So we don't have any filtering. Gyro PIDs 4000, looking good. So let's jump out of there. Alright. Looks great. I'm going to unplug power. I'm a little concerned on why it's only showing 4S. This might just be a setting in there. Okay. Let's disconnect. Unplug. Might jump into BL Heli here real quick. See what that does. Make sure nothing's getting warm. The board seems perfect. Everything's good. And we got a 6S pack. I don't know why it's showing 4S. ESC calibration? No. Not sure why that is. But that's now closed Betaflight. Going to BL Heli, I think is just in my downloads. BL Heli Suite. Again. And for BL Heli Suite, you do need your power on for your ESC. Power back up. Tones sound good. Let's check our ESC. COM 13. It's not going to be COM 1. Connect. We're in. Check them. All ESC showing normal. Look good. 32.7. I believe that's the newest. We can check by going to Flash BL Heli. Latest. 32.7. Yep. Good. We don't need to do any flashing. Sometimes I will put, if there's a max current limiter. I don't see any current limiter on this. That's okay though. So I don't usually mess with a lot of these settings, especially if we're doing 6 and 7 inch, so I'm not going to mess with frequency or timing or anything like that yet. The motors. That's going to redo. And quickly understand. Let's do all of them. 10:30. Everything's looking awesome. Okay. Kill that. And let's disconnect. Power down. Disconnect. And now we're going to go in and enable RPM filtering. Turn that on. Make sure we're not getting hot. Nope. Everything seems okay. Betaflight. Connect. Now we're going to go to configuration and we're going to enable that bidirectional D-shot. 14 motor poles. Yes. Should be all we need to do right now. Save it. Okay. It's on. Now let's go back to motors and make sure that works before we try to enable RPM filter. Alright, 0 errors. Let's spin motors up a bit. It's good. That's showing us at 1030 a throttle value of 1030, meaning between 0 and 1000 and 2000. We're at 1030. That gives us an RPM of right about 1900. 0 errors. We have amperage, voltage, and mach. Voltage is not correct though. Okay. Turn that back down. And we're going to go to bid tuning, filters. RPM filter is on. So we want this at 0. We're going to save that. Great. Let's go back to motors. And we're going to spin up motors again. 1040. We're going to go to CLI. Do a status. Getting a little warm, but everything looks good. Tap. Perfect. Yeah, we're running just fine at 4K. We can try turning that up. So let's get back out of there. Now we're going to unplug power. Unplug that power. And let's disconnect for now. Shut down. So we're all working. Everything's looking good. RPM filter is on. And now we can mess with gyro and pin speeds. Might turn that to 8K, and give that a shot. Let that cool down a minute. So this seems fine. Do some more configuring here. Then we can go set up, install Crossfire on our VTX. And go back to configuration, make sure everything looks good. Yep. No errors. Everything looks good. These filters. Okay. Motors. Let's plug in. Okay. Motors up here. About 1030. Now we're running D-Shot 600, 8K. On the CLI. Status, just because I like to do it. No errors, everything looks fine. Tasks. See, we're getting up a little high there. I mean, it's not bad, but our numbers are good. But yeah, that's it. If you do it a few times here, it gets knocked down quite a bit. That's not too bad. See, but then it jumps back up to 80 every now and then. Our cycle times are good. Yeah, sometimes that's just... that's where I like to actually go D-Shot 300, which I'll probably stay with. It's pretty close, but if I go D-Shot 300, 4K, save that. Fig, 300, 4K. See, our cycle time has jumped up a lot. Filters. motors. Back to 1030. Good tasks. That's more like that's what I like to see. Because it may jump up from there, may go down a little bit, but sometimes it'll jump up too, depending on, you know, if you're out flying, doing flips and rolls and things. That's dead on the money. That looks good. What are our temps at? Yeah, we're getting warm. So, back here, we're going to leave it there. Look good. And we're going to continue with our build. Figure out what's going on with that voltage meter, but that could just be this voltage scaling in here. Adjust that. So we'll mess with that, but that will be a fun build. I'm looking forward to this one. It's gonna be a blast. So thanks, guys. I hope to get some more flight footage soon, and maybe I'll film some of the build here. But fight on. See you guys.